Hi, everybody. It's Jenn from McCreath. It is the middle of summer here in St. John's, Newfoundland, July, which means it's Pride season here in St. John's and many other towns around the province. I want to react to a news story that came out yesterday. It seems to have some people scratching their heads. Government of Newfoundland and Labrador has produced a $70,000 grant for St. John's Pride and their partners. And a lot of people in the comments are saying, well, what about money for the homeless? What about mental health? On and on and on. And these are indeed important. But what I don't think people realize, Pride and their partners deliver these services. I get it. Pride started off in Stonewall back in the late 60s as a march, as a protest. And eventually Pride became Pride Day and eventually Pride Week. And I remember, I'll give you a bit of a history of St. John's Pride from what I know. I have only been here since 2007, but I understand there's been Pride marches going back to the 80s here. And in the 90s, there was actually an organization. People don't like to talk about it because I guess there were some problems. NGAL, Newfoundland Gay and Lesbians for Equality, existed and did some great work and organized and oversaw Pride events. And then I guess the AIDS Committee of Newfoundland Labrador took over Pride and did that for a while. When they had enough, some Memorial University students ran some Pride events, of course. That's when I arrived here. And by then, we'd started to see Pride organizations incorporate. And I saw what was going on in Halifax. I saw that the government there was sponsoring and supporting Pride, not just the festival, but round the calendar. Help and support for people in need. LGBT, we're all humans. Some of us have uniquely different needs, though. And not every doctor, especially 20 years ago, was trained on the unique mental health and physical health issues that this community faces. And like any oppressed community, there's going to be a lot of additional stress and anxiety, which can lead to mental health problems. Because there's so much hate in this world, there are family members that reject people who come out. So I was part of a group that turned St. John's Pride into St. John's Pride Incorporated. I know some people didn't like the way that was done. And I feel sorry for those who felt hurt by it. And at the same time, people laughed back then when I told them St. John's Pride, as an incorporated nonprofit body, will start seeing the same benefits that we are seeing in Halifax. 2011, I called the provincial government, the cabinet secretariat in the premier's office, and said, how about raising a Pride flag at the provincial parliament buildings? I know it's something that's only been done at City Hall, but other provinces are starting to do this. And they said, no, we don't feel we can do that. But I did manage to secure a partnership for the first time. St. John's Pride Incorporated and the government of Newfoundland and Labrador collaborated on Pride events, most notably at the Arts and Culture Centre. We had both educational and entertainment events done there. Fast forward to today. Pride is not just a festival, it is an organization that exists 12 months out of the year. They have formed amazing partnerships with a lot of great organizations who do a lot of great work, not just for the LGBTQ plus community, but for everyone. Specifically, Quadrangle built themselves up from the ground, and they are as big, maybe bigger than St. John's Pride. And they have done so many great things for so many people. And they have filled in the gaps. They provide products and services. Proactively, preventative. Our goal is to keep people out of the mental health hospitals. These are the type of groups that provide the support needed for people to survive and strive in life. Transport NL, another group built up from the ground into a very, very impressive entity. And In community outreach, we're starting to understand each other. We're seeing a lot of diversity here in St. John's. A lot of people in the past 10 years have moved here from every corner of the globe, and we're starting to learn about how different we all are at the same time that we are all humans. So don't complain. This is a good investment. It's going to reduce the reactive money that needs to be spent. There'll be fewer trips to the hospital, and there'll be fewer reactive problems. When you put the support out there for people, give them the tools they need to survive. These programs will help people. It goes right down to the beginning of life. Kids getting bullied at school for being different. A lot of those kids end up dropping out of school. We don't want that. We want people staying in school. They want to be safe in school. We want them to graduate, hopefully go on to college or university, and become functioning members of society. So many of those on social assistance come from various minority groups. And I think we all need to recognize we can and must help those who need a little extra push to do well in society. Look at me. I was basically the first person to move to Newfoundland to transition from male to female. And everything they said would be true. I lost a great job. I lost a bunch of family and friends. I had to fight like hell to get respect out of the healthcare system and the Human Rights Commission. But I've survived. I'm not collecting social assistance. I have a job in one of the most unconventional industries for LGBTQ community members. I'm in the justice sector, and I've proudly worked for the Crown Attorney's Office, the Provincial Court, the Supreme Court, and the Police Department. I am loved and respected there by my colleagues and peers, and we are now seeing several LGBTQ people in all industries. I think that's what this is ultimately about. Sometimes we have to raise our hand, sometimes yell a little bit, sometimes jump up and down to get a little bit of attention to say, yes, look at us. We are a little different, and we may have some unique challenges and needs, but ultimately we're all human beings. We want to be a part of this place. We love it here. It's home, even for us mainlanders that come here. So many people I've met, just like me. I thought I'd move to Newfoundland for a year or two, and I ended up sticking around. I've been here 19 years. There we are. I think you're stuck with me. I keep saying, one of these years I'm going to leave, but I'm here. And I'm proud to be able to say I've put in a lot of work to hopefully make this place better. Like me or not, the work's been done, and so many others have continued to do that great work. And for all of you people, whether you like me or don't, whether we get along or not, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So don't complain when you see headlines. Do a little digging, read up about what this is all about. I think this is a good investment, and I really do. If anyone wants to talk, argue, complain, whatever, let's sit down, let's chat, let's meet, civilized. We don't need to be having violent protests. I think members of our community are best suited to sit down, whether it's a round table or a square table or whatever. I got to sit because I got bad knees. I can't stand. I will bring a chair. You can stand. Let's meet. Let's talk. We'll get stakeholders in the room. We'll get government members in the room. And let's just take care of ourselves and each other's, and just try to be positive about things, folks. Please, for me and for everyone, put a smile on your face. Summer. There's no snow out there. Take a deep breath. The air is fresh. There's no smog. There's no pollution. Fingers crossed there's no fires. And enjoy July. Thank you, everyone, for watching.